What's going on, Brookie Nation? It's the Mackee Mouse.
It's Isla. Hi.
And this is Storybrooke Circus, our weird, zany, once upon a time podcast. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Hey, how's it going?
This is an exciting time because we are on the other side of our 10th episode. This is episode 11, and that is extremely exciting that we made it to 10. We had a huge 10th celebration.
We're coming off our 3-hour 10th episode.
3 hours. It was 2:57 or something like that. It was a hoot. And it was our 10th episode on the 10th year anniversary of Once Upon a Time. And we never made mention of that. And in my car, I was like, missed opportunity.
Dang, but you know what? It's still the 10th year anniversary, so we're celebrating.
I'm excited for what we're going to do on, we're going to be doing the podcast on the actual 10th anniversary day of the Once Upon a Time airing for the first time. And that's going to be really exciting. I wonder if we should just maybe record a bonus episode just for that day, like a special.
What day is that?
October something. Oh God, hold on. October.
Is it the 11th?
24th, I think. So October 24th, 2011. 23rd, October 23rd, 2011. So
it's going to be something.
You heard it here first. We don't know what we're going to do, but it's going to be something big. Well, since you made it here, through whatever means that you did make it here, through your favorite podcast app perhaps, at Storybrooke Circus, we review the ABC show Once Upon a Time, one episode at a time. We're going to go through the entire show. There's 130, I think, 8 episodes or so. And we are going over all sorts of behind-the-scenes stuff. And once we get all that stuff out of the way, then we will actually watch the episode via our video chat, and we will talk about it live on the air. And that will be your experience of the Storybrooke Circus episode. We also started something new. We record a YouTube video of this part, what we call the pre-show, which is everything before we watch the show. So hello, YouTube. That is what you're watching right now. And we would like to take the opportunity to ask you to like these videos and subscribe to the channel so that you know when the pre-show vids happen. The pre-show ones do drop a little bit earlier than the episode drops. We drop our episodes on podcast apps on Friday mornings at 5 a.m. So you have your morning commute on Friday and your weekend. But sometimes if I finish the pre-show early, I will give a little taste to the people out in internet land. So if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you'll know when those pre-shows happen because they're random. And while you're, subscribing for stuff, you might as well subscribe to the podcast so that you know when the podcast drops too. Anyway.
Yes, especially, I don't know about other streaming services, but on Apple, it lets you know when a new episode came out.
It does, yeah.
So even though we said every Friday at 5 a.m., you never know. Maybe it'll come out on a Thursday one day.
Hey, we've been known to do that.
We'll get fun. We do that sometimes.
We do. We like to
mix it up. And by we, I
mean
mean Mackee because he edits the show.
That's true. But, sometimes we do 2 in 1 week. Sometimes we do more than that in 1 week because we like to, give you guys more content. I don't know. That's just how
we
it
just
works
have
out.
a lot of fun doing this show. So anytime that we can do something, we do it.
That's really what we're getting at. This is just us having a good time. We chit chat like 2 friends long lost friends who've haven't talked to each other in ages for like an hour before we even start the podcast just for funsies, just because we can.
Honestly, putting this out is a bonus because we could do this without recording and it would be totally fine.
We do. We basically record a silent podcast that no one gets to hear of us just talking on the phone before the show. This is just our hangout time, and why not watch some TV while you hang out with your best friend? Isn't that right? I mean, sounds like a good time.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. And that's probably why you're here, is to listen to our shenanigans, or maybe watch them on YouTube. All right. Well, we have our show separated into segments. The first segment that we like to do, we affectionately call the Storybrooke Daily Mirror. We love our news, boys. Oh, God. We can't talk about this yet. I messed up. I knew I was going to do something wrong this time. I have to shout out Mr. Trevor Brown. one of my other best friends, IRL. I do a lot of photography and post-production stuff with him. We like to keep each other in check when we do projects, right? So he came over and he was like, yo, I checked out your new podcast. So dope. By the way, like, it sounds kind of crazy. Like, it sounds like your mic is like really staticky. And I was like, oh no, see, we have a whole thing where we pretend like we're in the forest. Like, we do the show, like we're recording like at like a campsite, right? So I have this crackling fire in the background. It turns out that fire is annoying and stupid, and I apologize for if that was distracting previously. I got called out on that, and rightfully so. I listened to it and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. You know what? I feel like it's appropriate for us to just like, we take the show on the road instead of being outside in the forest. We're gonna go inside to a palace, a cabin of some kind. A cave. Sure, there's that in the Enchanted Forest. A witch's house made of candy. Yeah, we're gonna leave the outdoors, and we're gonna let the fire run itself.
We're gonna
put the fire out, and we're just gonna, we're gonna do without it. So I just wanted to call that out, that we don't have a fireplace this time, and thanks, Trevor, for making sure that my audio sounds good. Anyway, newsboys, thank you for the read all about it exclamation. The Storybrooke Daily Mirror, in the world of Once Upon a Time, is a fictional newspaper of the town of Storybrooke. Well, in our world, it is the place where all of you who are listening get to participate in the show by submitting some information in various locations that Isla's about to tell you to our newspaper. Isla, how do people submit to the Storybrooke Daily Mirror?
So we mentioned it previously that you can subscribe to our podcast, but did you know you can also leave us a review, preferably a 5-star one on Apple Podcasts? They leave you the option. We would love to hear from you. It gives you the option to write some words, whether they be nice, sarcastic, tell us about your day.
We love all of them.
Please write something when you're leaving us a 5-star review, and we will read it here on the air. If you've already left a 5-star review, or if you don't have an Apple phone and you're listening on a different streaming device, you can always call in to tell us how you feel. If you want to let us know how we're doing on the show, if you want to tell us that we got something wrong, if you have a thought about the episode that we watched or something coming up, call in. Mackee, what is our number?
Our voicemail number, or our text number, because you can also text message. This number is 207-536-8512. For those of you area code nerds, 207 is the main area code, just like Storybrooke. Aren't we clever? The answer is yes. Spoilers. Yeah, you can message or you can send a voicemail if you're feeling anxious about leaving your voice. Then a text message will do just fine, and we will also read/play those on the air.
We will read and play on the air, and we'll talk to you like you are our surprise guest third host, because we love hearing your voices. We love doing this podcast, but we like to talk to you guys just as much.
We do. And that's really
Speaking
the whole point.
of talking to you guys, we have a Discord.
Hey.
It is where we record every week, but it is also where we have our own little chat room. We have a bunch of different discussions. We talk about the podcast. We talk about the show in general. Memes. A lot of inside jokes now.
Oh, yeah.
It is
we are developing a lot of inside jokes now.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be about Once Upon a Time. We have general, like, we can talk about what's going on. We like to cheer each other on with personal projects, professional projects. If you're into Disney, we talk about that sometimes. There's just so much to do on our Discord.
Yeah, absolutely. The Discord is a super great outlet if you are wanting to connect with other people who are listening to our show, or you want to connect with Isla and myself. We are also on there and talk to people all the time. And it's really fun to have kind of an after chat after everybody watches it and they participate as well. That's kind of really the reason why we wanted to, instead of just us as friends just watching the show and talking to each other about it, we made a podcast so that we can get you guys involved, so that you guys can talk back to us, because a show like this really lets people explore the what ifs and theories and all that kind of stuff. And we know you oncers, you Once Upon a Time fans are out there.
You brookies.
So we would love to hear from you. That would be great. Speaking of hearing from people,
we have an
entry for the Storybrooke Daily Mirror this week. Isla, would you like to tell us who's submitting to the newspaper this week?
So she tries to be sneaky.
Yeah, I like this
Our good friend Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she thinks that she snuck one past us because
spoilers, she
if you
did.
do not know,
I didn't. I fell
yeah, got past Mackee. If you did not know, Mackee and I also co-host another podcast, and this reviewer Jordan left a review on our other podcast with the same name, and I'm going to read that name on the air. It is teeth smiley face, no teeth smiley face, teeth smiley face, happy smile teeth smiley face, no teeth smiley face, teeth smiley face, thumbs up, hand wave.
Wow. That's I wish we had programmed that into like Siri and made the computer like
make her say it. Yeah, me too.
This showed up as just a bunch of emojis and 5 stars in this wonderful review, and I was like, what's going on here? And Isla was like, wait, this is an Easter egg. So thanks for cracking that mystery. Let's hear what Jordan has to say.
Titled, Get Your Drinking Bell Ready.
I'm
All ready. The magic, dearies.
You get 2 for that.
Thank you. Do you love magic, mystery, and adventure? Are you a fan of reliving childhood stories through the eyes of an adult? Have you ever collected the still beating hearts of your worst enemies? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you need to check out the SBC podcast. Mackee and Isla take their love for the Once Upon a Time series and their cynicism of the adult Disney life and present to the world the amazing Storybrooke circus. Do yourself a favor and tune into these fun and insightful voices as they relive the amazing and cringeworthy moments that filled our lives a decade ago. In case you forgot, Regina still has the best costumes, Gold is still creepy as anything, and yes, Emma is still the worst. Sorry for my biases. See you at the circus.
That is magnificent. Thank you.
Phenomenal review.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jordan. Wow, thank you. Like,
also
for holding us
writer.
to this level. I know, like, this is a good story to tell.
Also, if anybody wants to partake in this little joke, go ahead to the podcast page, find our show, and after you're done making your own 5-star review, read Jordan's entry here. We made a joke a long time ago that all of our listeners of both of our podcasts follow now, where anytime Isla's name appears on screen, we lowercase the I in Isla. And everybody who writes to me on my DMs, everybody who references her in Discord, it's always lowercase I. And even in this review, lowercase I. Love
Can't
that.
even express how much that means to me because our other co-host CJ has mentioned it before. People have asked, why do you do that? Like,
right.
That kind of looks like rude because, you know, names are supposed to be capitalized. It's like and it's not. That is how I prefer my name. A lot of times fonts capture the I and the L next to each other, so it just looks like my name is Llama, and I'm not down with that.
Not a llama.
So I just think that I even turned off the like auto capitalization on my phone because I just love lowercase. It fits my vibe.
Yeah,
it's my brand is
That's
lowercase for some reason.
No, I like it.
So if you do that, just know that you are in my circle and I love and appreciate you.
And I failed by creating this template and have not lowercased your name on this YouTube frame.
At least the L is different from the I, so it's not just llama.
Right. But I'm going to lowercase it for the next episode, so watch out for that Easter egg on YouTube. You got it. Jordan, thank you so much for your submission to the Storybrooke Daily Mirror. We appreciate your contributions as always, and we look forward to future Storybrooke Daily Mirror entries from all of our brookies out there who are just listening for the first time, or anybody who's wanted to for a few weeks and hasn't done it yet. But I guess it's now time to, we're like 17 minutes in. This is the time where it was like 40 minutes or something in the last show. We were going
No
so
big.
hard. I am
No
so
big.
honestly, we got so many compliments about like, I love the fact that it was 3 hours. It was so much fun to listen to. So you guys who have reached out to us and say that you loved that 3 hour episode, thank you. Cause we were both really worried about it. We were like, oh my God, this is so long.
But it was well received, which makes us really happy. So stay tuned for more 3 hour episodes.
Yeah, right. Well, speaking of episodes, let's talk about this one. Season 1, episode 11. I'm really excited. It's just a weird nerd thing. I'm really excited for when the episodes, because we move into season 2, like our episode numbers and their episode numbers are not the same because we are like that far in. Is that weird? That I'm just like excited for season 2 to be like, it's going to be like episode 20 or whatever.
Oh, I'm thinking to myself, what do you mean they're going to be different? I forgot seasons start.
Like start the numbers over. So it'll be like episode like 32 or whatever. And we'll be like,
yeah,
it's episode, 5 for them. I don't know. I'm such a nerd. I'm so weird. All right. Episode 11. The name of this episode is Fruit of the Poisonous Tree. What fruit could that possibly be? January 29th. 2012 is when this aired. It was written by Ian Goldberg and Andrew Chambliss. These are repeat writers.
I was going to say, is this a repeat? Because I feel like I've heard Ian before.
So I did go look up whether or not some shows, they have their writers like this, like a very character-driven ensemble. They will have the same writers write the stories that are dedicated to that same character, right? So all the Regina episodes will have the same writer. All the, a lot of shows do that. They certainly did that on The Good Place, where like characters that were like Tahani episodes or Eleanor episodes, like there was a writer that was like the Tahani writer, like the main one, and then they would all contribute. I looked to see if this show did that, and they don't. They really do mix and match, which might just be a result of the studio deciding which writers do what. So I was seeing is like Ian Goldberg, are they the Regina people? And turns out they're not. It's just like, but the last episode that they did do, oh crap, I looked this up and I lost it. Hold please, I have it right here. Jeez, I'm just gonna click back forever. Come on, you can do it, internet. This is embarrassing. Well, trust me, it was a good episode. You can take my word for it.
It's fine,
I guess. Like, what am I doing? I'm the worst host ever. Okay, so Ian Goldberg and Andrew Chambliss did The Shepherd. They did the last Charming episode. That was episode 6. Was the first time that we've seen them. So this is their second episode in the whole show.
Yeah,
it looks like. It is directed by Brian Spicer, who is the first time we've heard that name in our Once Upon a Time world. And the character backstory for this episode is the Magic Mirror and the Evil Queen / Sydney Glass and Regina Mills. So this synopsis for this episode is thus. A dejected Sydney enlists... Remember the last time we saw Sydney, he lost the...
I was going to say.
Sheriff's race, right?
He's not doing too hot right now.
A dejected Sydney enlists the aid of Emma to help uncover evidence that could expose Mayor Regina as the corrupt person she really is to the town people of Storybrooke. Ooh. And Mary Margaret and David continue their secret rendezvous while trying to figure out a way to unleash their unrequited love. Whoa.
Hold on.
Hold on, indeed.
Hold on a second. When we last spoke, very much so, the last second of our episode, they were full on making out in the middle of the street.
Oh, yeah.
So why are we saying this is secret? There was tongue on Main Street.
Like everyone could see that. Yeah, that's true. Oh, well, it was late. It was after the storm. I guess nobody was out. They could... well, that's a good question. We'll have to see if that's
not very
addressed.
secret.
Okay, so in terms of Enchanted Forest, right? King Leopold, who is played by such a phenomenal actor. I'm so excited to see him. He's the father of Snow White, married to the Evil Queen. He stumbles upon a magic lamp and is granted 3 wishes by a genie who warns the king to be careful what he wishes for. So we got some Aladdin vibes in there, right? This is actually really exciting because this is really starting to get into, we're going backwards now, right? So this is starting to get into Evil Queen.
Way more stories.
Yeah, like pre-Evil Queen, Snow White stuff. And as we start messing around with that timeline, it's going to start getting really interesting, uncovering all these questions that we had from the beginning of the season. So now that we have that out of the way and we know what the episode's about, we know what we're getting into here, we like to do a segment we like to call Production Notes.
Production Notes.
Production Notes is when we go back into the Wikipedia and find all of the fun behind-the-scenes stuff, production notes from when they were taping or when they were editing, or little things from the prop department, these little tidbits that are kind of, fun and give the episode a little bit of context. We have quite a few this time, not nearly as much as the 2.5 pages from the last one. I don't know why that one was so extra, but okay, so for this one, the Genie's line. In my time, I have granted 1,001 wishes, and I have seen them end poorly 1,001 times. That's obvious a reference to the 1,001 Nights is the original story where Aladdin came from. In fact, in the Aladdin cartoon, the genie references Shahrazadi had 1,000 tails. For that story came from Shahrazadi having to tell these stories of the prince and thieves and all that. The story of Aladdin to a king who was threatening to kill her if she didn't entertain him. So she sits down and tells him this story of a genie in a lamp and a prince who robs people. It's that whole thing. That was what the whole story was made from. So I don't think I've
ever even heard of like what Aladdin was.
So 1,001 Nights, or in the song Arabian Nights, they kind of reference it too. 1,001 Nights. She's supposed to be. I don't remember if she's there entrapped forever, or if she tells him 1,000 stories or something like that to this king who's like a lunatic and going to like behead her or whatever. And so she ends up making up these stories on the spot to make him happy. And I think because he says, "Oh, tell me another story tomorrow, I'll kill you later," that she ends up surviving because she kept him placated. And and the Prince of Thieves was one of those stories. The whole genie in the lamp thing came out of her. So it's kind of a meta story in a story, and they basically pulled that story out and turned that into Aladdin.
Oh,
so this whole 1,001 wishes
is an ode to that.
Shahrazadi had 1,000 thieves and whatever the line is from A Friend Like Me were all references to the original 1,001 Night story. I know there's going to be some English majors out there that are like, you are so incorrect about that. Please correct me. That's a very like Cliff Notes version of it. I know that was probably super wrong, but it's something like that.
It was good enough for me.
Yeah, you get the idea. So this is something we normally pull out in the drinking game that we like to play during watching the show. Shout out to Taryn, not my wife. Do I have to hyphenate it every single time I say her name? Taryn, not my wife, Taryn. For creating...
Tanaran. Every time I read her name on anything, it's Tanaran.
Taryn, you'll have to tell us the etymology of your name, where your name came from, and why it is spelled as such. You guys nobody knows what we're talking about. So somebody in our Discord made a drinking game flyer that has all the rules listed on it, and she's in our
phenomenal.
Discord. And it's so good. We're like super excited about it. Because we play this drinking game, and one of the things on it very obviously is apples. Anytime we have a whole Regina doing an apple thing. Well, they actually called out this time, like, there's some specific apple references that we're going to be looking out for. When the genie meets Queen Regina, she's tending to her apple tree. Reference to the poison apple. The episode's called Fruit of the Poisonous Tree. This whole episode's going to be about apples. We're going to get schwasty. In addition, when she's talking to Sydney in her office, Regina takes a red apple from the fruit bowl on the table and just looks at it. It's just like a character moment that she has. She's just all about the apple thing, right? They're going to really shove this down our throat this episode. When Queen Regina, this is a little creepy. When Queen Regina opens the box, there's a snake inside that could kill her in one bite. It's a reference to the story of Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, right? Who is said to have killed herself from a bite of a poisonous snake because she knew that the Romans were going to come take over Egypt. So that was like a old Egyptian reference to this whole snake in a box thing. Just some light level observations here. This is the first time that they reference that the evil queen is named Regina, Queen Regina. They actually name her in the Enchanted Forest.
Okay.
Yeah. In the pawn shop, we're going to be looking out for a chess set next to King Leopold. It'll be in the pawn shop Oh, sorry. The chess set that is next to King Leopold is in the pawn shop in The Price of Gold. So this is actually really cool. So we've already talked about the marionettes.
Oh, so we're going back.
The
Okay.
creepy puppets that were in Price of Gold, and then the very next episode we find out where the puppets came from. That the puppets were those kid parents from the Jiminy Cricket thing. So there's a lot of like weird little things in the pawn shop that they end up never referencing, but they will actually show up in the show of like where they came from. And the chess set was in Price of Gold, and he'll have been playing with it because all the stuff from the Enchanted Forest during the curse came here. And of course, since Mr. Gold is the pawn shop guy, he has everything, and he owns the town. These like weird trinkets,
but he doesn't know about the curse.
It says it's the item that Mr. Gold hurts his head on when he's attacked by Ashley. We remember Ashley as Cinderella, so it's kind of. I love that they like randomly connect that stuff. Has nothing to do with the story.
I don't even know how people do that.
Tell me about it. Let's see some hidden details here. According to there's going to be a slide projector, right, showing some slides. The Storybrooke's coat of arms, evidently, is an apple tree with a beehive in front of it. I love that. That's a cool, like, little detail. That first of all, that Storybrooke has a coat of arms, and that the coat of arms has these little symbolisms from, So we have a goof, a little one. When the Genie of Agrabah enters King Leopold's chambers, he's not wearing genie bracelets because, spoilers, he's freed like right at the start of the episode. When King Leopold hands him the mirror, he has the bracelets on again.
I like how you call them genie bracelets, like they're not handcuffs.
I mean, that's true. They're handcuffs. Let's be honest. No, you're 100%
It's like a cute name for your prisoner.
For your prison bracelets. That's cute. They're handcuffs, guys.
It's like designer
handcuffs. That's what they are.
His Gucci bracelet is...
with the lock. Why is there a key and a lock on it? Oh, it's just really high fashion. Valid point. Moving right along. The first. Oh, okay. So there's some photos we're going to be looking at. I have not seen the episode yet. We're going to be watching it live for the first time, but I found 4 things here that said where these photos came from. So I don't even know what they're talking about. So I'm sure we'll figure it out pretty easily. But it says the first photo of Emma and Henry at the playground castle. That came from Desperate Souls because they're holding walkie-talkies. Let me see if I can just pull up which episode numbers that. So that's episode 8. That would have been 3 episodes ago. The second photo, there's a photo of Emma and Henry leaving Archie's office. That was taken in The Thing You Love Most, which is episode 2, right? When he was in therapy. The photo
Crazy Henry.
The photo of Emma and Henry walking by the Storybrooke post office was taken during Price of Gold, which is episode 4. And then there's a photograph of David and Mary Margaret's date by the toll bridge. These are all photos that were taken by Sydney. It says it appears in What Happened to Frederick. There's a bit of a problem here. What Happened to Frederick hasn't happened yet. What Happened to Frederick is in 2 episodes, which is like this episode that so many of these episodes up until this point reference this What Happened to Frederick episode, which is episode 13. That's going to be in 2 episodes. This is going to be the climax of this David, Mary Margaret, Catherine thing. So I think this date by the toll bridge was misquoted here as having happened 2 days or maybe a week from when this episode is happening. So it probably was the first toll bridge date when he tells her to go down there and wait for me and I'll know you've made your choice. And then he comes down and is like, psych, I'm going to go back with my wife. It's probably that. They've been to the toll bridge a few times, so it doesn't have to be that one, but I don't know why it says that. It's a little...
The toll bridge, not bridge.
The toll, not troll bridge.
Tolls.
For tolls. And that was our production notes.
Production notes.
So now, right before we get into watching the episode, we like to do a section called What's in the Hatch? Once upon a time, Cher's executive producers with Lost, Adam Horowitz and Edward Kitsis, are both executive producers, longtime friends of Damon Lindelof. They worked on Lost a lot. they asked Damon Lindelof a lot about making this show, and they created this show it very much is created with the same blood and the same vibe as Lost, just not with the same content. So we do get a lot of flashbacks and a lot of the way that the characters evolve. They're doing character backstories on everything. It flows very much like Lost. Well, they hide Easter eggs all over these episodes. So what's in the hatch is when we talk about the specific Lost Easter eggs in this episode. There's a lot of numbers here. If anybody's a Lost fan, you know the Lost numbers are very much a through line of the lore here. So this is a case where we have a lot of those numbers in this episode. A box from the Hall of Records. It's in aisle 8, section 4. Okay, if you don't know what the Lost numbers are, it's 4, 8, 15, 16, 22, 23, and then some 40 numbers that I never remember. It's like
42
or something, yeah. And then all of those numbers combined equal 108. So then 108 also becomes a numbers. Within Lost, these are numbers attached to, you know what, I won't even tell you because it's kind of a spoiler, so go find it.
There's
go watch
a lot.
Lost. Yeah.
You need to watch Lost.
But those numbers basically show up in everybody's life, everybody who's stranded on the island. The numbers randomly appear all over the place because they're...
It's like 812.
Yeah, they're all like magical. 815.
815.
Oceanic 815. Okay, so the box from the Hall of Records is in aisle 8, section 4. 4 and 8 are obviously two of the numbers. Regina's secret meeting in the woods. It takes place on Access Road 23. Emma crashes her police cruiser into a sign where the roads are numbered 4 and 23. And Emma's printout mentions the address Dominion Street, Unit 4. So this one is, we've always talked about the fact that we keep seeing numbers show up, but none of them are the Lost numbers. And we're like, why, y'all? Like, license plates, like all these things, like you could have put them in. Well, they threw the kitchen sink at this episode, so we're gonna do our best to try and point those out. I
can't promise it.
I have never hit them all in any episode because I'm doing the sound effects and it's just a mess. But I'll try and hit as many as I can. Speaking of sound effects, let's talk about this for a second. So obviously you've figured out that I really like sound effects. You've heard this by now. Well, we have a couple new ones, and I don't know if we'll get a chance to use them in this episode, but hopefully we'll get a chance to use them soon. But I want to show you what they are so that we just know that they're here, and we're going to wait for the right opportunity to use them. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like New Girl, Jessica Day.
If you feel things getting sexual, just say...
Shut it down. So we're gonna use that one for. We had these moments of like Graham and Regina, and like these weird, or like Graham kissing Emma in the street.
Being
that would have been
so
a moment
uncomfy.
to just be like,
if you feel things getting sexual, just
right?
say, shut it down.
Shut it down.
So that's one for like okay, David and Mary Margaret OTP. Like we know that that's one true pairing right there, you know? So that's never going to feel awkward or weird. There's definitely going to be some connections. Don't feel good. That's where we're going to use that. And speaking of things that don't feel good, things that just generally don't feel good, Isla made a huge contribution to the sound effects bank this week. We will be giving people some kind of honorary gross out award, or we have to figure out what to name this, but here it is. For anyone who's been living under a rock and don't know what that is made famous by TikTok.
My all-time favorite TikTok sound.
Yeah, it's a pretty great sound to use, but we have to figure out what this is. So if anybody would like to submit to the Storybrooke Daily Mirror, this would be a very appropriate submission. What are we going to name what we give that sound effect to? I want some kind of award, some kind of like you get the blah 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 award, and then we play that sound effect with it. For, you know what I mean? I think the shut it down is self-explanatory, but oh no needs a little bit of love. So if you have any ideas for that, you can call us at the number. I'll give it to you once again, just in case you missed it the first time. 207-536-8512. We got Instagram, we got email. They're all at the end of the show. You'll hear them there. And with that, that's our pre-show. Hey, we did it. By the way, we have one extra sound effect before you XOXO out. I forgot, and it's this. We're going to clink our glasses together when we find those production notes. It's important that we actually are like, oh, there's the thing that we blabbered about in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
So everybody, we're going to raise a glass and just do a little clink toast.
Raise a glass.
There you go. There you go, Hamilton lovers. There you get a little show. I love your under your breath singing is my favorite. You're gonna get this copywritten on YouTube for that.
I know, that's why I'm whispering. I don't want
Whisper
them to hear
singing.
me.
Well, YouTube, we will say goodbye for now. And if you want to catch the rest of the show, you can find it on your favorite podcast app. For the rest of us, let's get into the show.